you're saying that they've spent close to $2 million already.
In excess of that, yes.
And this is just the tip of the iceberg, because all that has happened up until now is they've made a bunch of allegations against you, and they've been unsuccessful in demonstrating that you lack the character, despite trying.
I've not been convicted or found guilty.
Okay, so now, all these years they've tried to go after you and failed.
In different ways.
And ultimately, you're determined to hold them to account for that. So when you do sue them, they'll have to justify all of that history and spend millions more.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you succeed,
yes,
they'll have to make you whole again.
But they can't make me 100% whole, because the business has been divided up, sold off. My wills, probate, which was the largest safe custody box in the Greensboro Westpac, was sold off to a lady who used to work for me. And on her website, she put in that she'd bought my practice. And in the official documents to my liquidator, who I appointed in April last year, 2024, and paid for at $10,000 to liquidate my business because the debts were running up. The tax was over $200,000. He hadn't been paying that off, Nick Curran. He had also billed me officially $200,000 to date, and still had another number of months, 3 to 4 months of billing to do to provide to liquidator, which he hasn't provided to date. So the liquidator has not been able to liquidate. My computers were returned in November 2024, over a year later, even though I requested...
How many files did you have on them?
Well, there was about 13 computers, laptops.
I'm joking. I mean, they're supposed to...
No, they took all my private documents. They took all the stuff.
They're supposed to return your devices.
That's correct.
As soon as they're finished.
And I wrote to them. I even went to the police. The police said, we're not going to intervene in the legal board. They have ultimate power. They even took a hard drive and confiscated that from my computer technician. Now, I'm not sure what was on that. Anyway, suffice to say, the computers came back in a corner, were damaged, had like laptop bags missing, were thrown in a corner. The liquidator said, what do you want to do? Do you want to buy them? I said, I'm not buying them because they can be tainted. I saw on the bill a $4,000 bill from an IT specialist who'd gone through. They didn't want to, they'd never, to my request, provided me with an itemised breakdown of that IT man's work. They were going through my emails, which I had confidential and privileged correspondence with Glenn Mohammed with this matter. And I have correspondence to Nick Curran to say you're not allowed to utilise that for the board or the Victorian government solicitor's benefit. It was the 6th of October 23. She had to recuse herself in the court because the judge said you cannot continue.
You have a conflict, yes.
You're in conflict. And they had to appoint the Victorian government solicitor to continue on with the matter. After they'd been through all the other legal departments, it was left to them to take it on. By the 11th of October, the following week, they had then written a letter and decided to confiscate my business because it looked like they were going to lose in that matter. It's clearly obvious, and they wanted access to my files and anything in the office.
So effectively, they are bringing bogus charges against you because for 15 years they've tried to find better charges.
For an ulterior purpose to get into the practice.
So they tried for 15 years to find
any dirt on me.
More robust allegations that could stick. But because they can't do that, so they're bringing completely untenable allegations. Is that what you're saying?
That's correct. They've even spiked up and written to my former de facto partner who left at early 2021, 4.5 years ago. They wrote to her 2 years ago saying, under the uniform laws, you need to comply. We have questions for you to answer.
Sorry, so they wrote to your spouse,
Former de facto, yes.
Asking them to give evidence against you.
That's correct.
And
in a private matter.
On what basis?
On my mum's estate matter, because she was a signatory to a document my mum signed.
But what was the basis upon which they could demand that she give
evidence? They were trying to use the legislation, the Legal Profession Act, which is makes lawyers comply to their request.
If they were working for the same practice? So
that's right, but she never worked for my practice. She never was a paralegal. She was never an employee. She's actually a childcare worker for the last 40 years.
So she's not even a lawyer?
No.
And they still try to threaten her?
That's correct.
With civil penalty?
That's correct, if she didn't comply. Then also, they decided to contact my half-brothers, younger half-brothers, and spike them up since January 2019 to make allegations against me that I defrauded my mum's estate. Leading to the middle brother, who received carer's pension, lived there for 9 months rent-free. I let him go with that, locked me out after her death. Her will disappeared in her room, leading me to take even less than a third when I was meant to get 2/3 of the estate because they have their own father. I've never known my father. Came with my mum from Germany at 4 years of age. They got involved in a family situation, my only family in Australia, mind you. So my only family I have now is my 9-year-old son, who was with my ex, because they have now pushed my brothers away through strategy, leading to my younger brother in March this year writing an affidavit saying that I was entitled to more under the original will, but because it disappeared in her house while the middle brother was living there and locked me out, I was still a greedy bastard, even though I'd taken less. And I had a written document with 5% commission, signed by mum, myself, and my ex de facto. So they didn't like that.